Alright guys, quick overview of my Raptor 90 gasser conversion. I'm just going to show you what I did to this thing to get it to work right. I know there's people out there building these, at least there was. I don't know how popular this is anymore, but got this one working pretty well. Biggest thing here, this is a Gasserman conversion frame set, which I know was pretty popular for a while. I don't know if it's still available. The biggest issue with this kit was the cooling from the fan. It uses the factory nitro fan housing with a nitro fan that's machined to fit the Zenoa shaft, and obviously your nitro clutch parts with a different pinion gear for the different ratio. What I did on this guy, I ran it that way originally. The Lynx gasser clutch and the 90 SE clutch bell, which worked okay, but the engine temps were definitely getting up there during flight. So I found some Excel or miniature aircraft gasser parts, used actually from a friend of mine who converted his to electric. I actually bought a whole engine from him, but I got the shroud and the fan and the clutch assembly with the starter shaft from the Excel. And when I really got to look at this stuff, I thought, man, I could probably make this just work in the Raptor. And it was pretty easy, a lot easier than you would think it would be. The clutch and the Excel 14 tooth pinion are pretty much as they came from Excel. I just pulled the starter shaft out, or the clutch shaft out, and actually got that to go into the Raptor clutch carrier. Dimensions are exactly the same, so it's a metal clutch carrier in there. You can't really see it, but that bolts together. The pinion is already the right tooth, so you don't have to buy the special pinion gear for your nitro clutch like I did with the other setup. Nice thing is this uses a big billet cooling fan in there, which has a drive flange. Has 3 rubber isolators in it that actually drive the clutch, so it's not solid mounted to it. It has a rubber pivot ball in the center and then 2 drive pins in rubber to drive the clutch, which was a pretty good performance upgrade for this thing. It really cut down on vibration. To get the fan housing to work, the Excel fan housing, you can see it goes all the way around the motor. Let's see if I can flip this thing. I can't really see it in there, but it goes all the way over. Completely covers the cylinder head, the top of the cylinder head, which is the most important. All I did was I trimmed this down on the bottom of the shroud just a little bit to get this dimension, right to where it fit into the frame, and then I remade this lower motor mount plate, which has the 4 bolts for the engine, and then it has the 1 mounting bolt that comes off of this cross strut here. Only thing I did differently is I just added some material here for these front bolt holes on this side and obviously on the other side, and then the rear 2 bolt holes for the fan. Bolted that up, put the fan shroud on, installed the clutch, and this assembly just goes right back in just the same way as it did on the Gasserman kit, except now I have this really well designed fan shroud. These are parts if you have a Raptor gasser or you're using your factory nitro fan housing. This is something I really recommend doing because this works really well. I know there's been online concern about rigidity because the fan picks up a couple bolt holes in here. It's not really an issue. I was able to keep most of the metal braces that were through the plastic fan housing in place. This shroud just kind of clears everything, and then basically the only structure at this point for the fan shroud is just these 4 screws that hold it down to the motor mount plate. As far as the helicopter, it's pretty stock plastic blade holders and plastic bell cranks, still fly bar. I got Radix 2 Curtis Youngblood blades, carbon boom, carbon torque tube, Curtis Youngblood tail blades, 9252 Futaba servos, and I'm actually running a old school 502 gyro, but it works really well. Using a Spectrum receiver with telemetry, so I can monitor my engine temperature and RPM and battery voltage. For exhaust, we did a Sentry muffler. This is their UAV muffler, which is a little more expensive, but dimensionally it fits this Raptor perfect. I mean, it looks like it was made for it, and then the biggest advantage to this is it's very quiet, which I like, and I will be posting a flight video of this thing pretty soon so you guys can hear it. Anyway, that's information. You know, when I was first putting this thing together, I was trying to figure this stuff out, so hopefully this helps somebody who's going through the same process. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks. Bye.